Getting ready to do some work outside today. And I just wanted to jump on here. Not really jump on here. I don't want to be the cliche guy that everybody says the same thing. Anyway, I already did. I just want to say some things that are on my mind. I'm literally to the age at 47 where I don't care what you think of me. I have nothing to prove to you. I live to honor God first and foremost. Do I fail at that? Absolutely. And if you know anything about me, you know how I try to live my life. I made a video not long ago that I said that I live for three things, and I try to live my life in this order: God, family, country. And in all reality, if you're a godly person, I believe your family is a very close second, simply because you want to honor and glorify God by ministering to your family. So I am God, family, country. I'm very frustrated right now. And some of you are going to watch this, and some of your states are opening up. Our state here in Pennsylvania right now, we are being ruled by a tyrant who literally stays in his house. Apparently he has not come out of his house in like 3 weeks. He's making all of these mandates. He's making these decisions unilaterally. He's coming out and having, it's not even a press conference. He has a press release. And in these releases, there's no one there to question him. There's no one there to push back against him. He goes and runs and hides in his house, and no one can get to him to reply to anything. Listen, I've been doing everything that I know that I can for my state. I am still working, okay? Understand this. I am still working. I am not fighting for my job. I'm fighting for the job of other people. There are other people that this nonsense is literally bankrupting. We live in a town called Lititz, Pennsylvania. In Lititz, the whole town of Lititz is built on small business. We are hearing report day after day of all of these small businesses that are now going out of business because of this whole coronavirus that is literally a farce. It has been a farce from the beginning. Some of us have said that. Some of us have been pushing back from the beginning. In the beginning, we even, for the first couple weeks, we were like, yes, okay, we will do what we have to do. In 2 weeks, this will all be over. It is no longer about that. It is no longer about flattening the curve. It is no longer about all of the cliche things that go along with saying this. Some of us even saw in the beginning, get outside, get fresh air, because this thing can't last. It can't. All of these things, it's hilarious to me that I look back at some of my original posts when all this started. I'm not a prophet, but please don't take that I'm calling myself a prophet. But if you study history and you study how certain types of people work and certain parties and how they work, you already know what's going to happen. You already know how things are going to go. I am, in the beginning of all of this, I think that President Trump tried to do things the right way, and he did. He has been doing, and he's still doing things the right way. Whether you like that or not, I don't care. At 47 years old, I don't care what you think. I have nothing to prove to you. I don't. I have my opinions. I am very opinionated. I am very much an American. And I have said before, God in His sovereignty put me here. My frustration and my aggravation comes from this. Some of you that are living in the South, and it is absolutely a red and blue thing. I hate it, but it is, because you can't even have conversations with those in the blue. And there are some that you can't have a conversation with in the red either. However, most of us here in the red are ones that have been pushing back against what we consider to be tyranny and against everything that the Constitution of the United States says. I am not a constitutional lawyer. I teach history. and I understand the Constitution. I understand the Bill of Rights. We are now to a point where we are being told what to do on whims. So those of you in the South, most of those states that are in the red, you guys are all opening up, and this does not apply to you. But right now, our governor literally does not have any press conferences. He doesn't have any media. He has press releases. He sits in his office, records himself, and then that's it. Last weekend, 11 counties pushed back against his, I feel like I'm 5 years old. We are in red light, yellow light, green light. You guys remember that game as a kid? That's what I feel like we're in right now. 11 counties pushed back with minimum statistics as far as deaths and all of those things related to COVID-19. He comes out on Monday morning and throws a tirade, calling people cowards, selfish. Who's the coward that's hiding in his house? I don't like to call people cowards because I know how I feel. But here's the thing. He was calling those of us. I'm working, okay? I'm pushing back for those people that I want them to be working. I want them to be able to have their businesses. But no, we're saying you can't do that. You can't earn a living. You can't pay your bills. People, go look right now. Do you understand that we're not hearing about natural causes of death at all during this whole thing? No reports on that. No report. All we hear from our health person, Richard, our health person keeps coming out with these numbers that people are dying, that they're dead. What were their conditions? How old were they? And where are they dying? Because the county coroners of Pennsylvania are pushing back and saying, our death numbers are not matching your death numbers. Something's not right here. And if you can't see that, I don't know how to help you see that. Some of you are very content. Oh, well, we need to shelter in place. Here's if you want to shelter in place, shelter in place. But there are those of us that want to live our lives. We want to get back to normal. And yes, there can be a normal. I don't care what you say. There can be a normal. If you feel like you can't go outside, then don't go outside. If you feel like you need to stay home, then you stay home. Make a decision for yourself. The government telling me what I have to do. This is not the United States of America right now. Right now we live in Mein Kampfville here in Pennsylvania. I don't hate anybody. I hate platforms. I hate platforms that certain parties stand for. I can't stand the fact that our churches, some of our churches, are just not even pushing back. When you understand religious freedom, excuse me, religious freedom has been taken away. I'm outside pollen. And it's not coronavirus. Okay, I promise, it's not. Our freedoms are being taken away slowly. And we literally just continued to sit back and say, okay, if you're content staying home, then you stay home. But there are people's lives that are at stake. We're not talking, and I think I just said this, we haven't heard about natural causes. Suicide rate right now is sky high. Why are we not worried about that? Why are we not hearing about deaths of people dying from heart attacks? Or the flu, for that matter. And here's another thing that I'm going to just... If you go digging into the CDC's website, and you have to dig to find it, they have the actual deaths of coronavirus. The actual deaths. And it's nothing what they are reporting here in this country. Or even in this state. People, look, I'm all about freedom. I want everybody to be free. I think we should fight for those that want to be free. And right now, my fellow Americans want to be free. Here in our state, we want to be free. Again, I'm working. Carrie Lynn and I are both working. We have been able to move about and do basically what we want to be able to do things, except going into the store is extremely inconvenient. Wearing a mask that, from what I understand, can make you more sick. My wife has been having to wear one at work at Women's and Babies all the time. She's having breathing problems right now from wearing her mask. I can't verify that. I'm not a doctor. But wearing a mask for 12 straight hours, it's not healthy. It's not healthy for you. But that's where they are right now. People are nuts. People have literally bought hook, line, and sinker that they're going to die if they walk out their front door. I mean, if you are driving down the street with your windows up and you have a mask on, maybe you should not come out of your house. That makes zero sense. I will continue to support businesses because here's the deal. Everybody's mad at Amazon. Let me tell you, Amazon has been helping keep smaller businesses in business because that's how they do their shipping. That's how they do their ordering. I'm okay with Amazon. These big box stores, they are employing hundreds of thousands of people. I'm okay with that. Imagine this, though, if an airline goes out of business because of all of this crap. Hundreds of thousands of people are going to lose their jobs. One side, there is one party that is okay with no one working, and they want to continue to pay them to not work. They don't want this economy back up. They don't want anything to happen that this president gets any credit for anything. They want to blame him when they were the ones in the beginning that pushed back against what he wanted to do. He has been doing everything that he possibly can. And yes, I am a huge Trump supporter. I love everything about the guy because basically, you know what? He's me. Can we just help push back? Pennsylvania, especially you, listen to me. Push back against what you know is wrong. If you're afraid, fine. I'll take your place. But it is time that we the people, start pushing back. I have a lot more to say. And I hope I've said everything I can possibly say. Don't even get me started on the General Flynn thing. It's funny, and I'm going to tell you this to some of you. My kids in my class, I do these little rants every week for my history classes right now. We're coming down to our last week. I had one student reach out to me and say, Mr. Hilliard, can you please start a podcast so I can talk and see how I can hear you the rest of the summer? Made me feel great. I'm not going to start a podcast, although I may be doing more of these. But listen, I don't hate anybody. I disagree. And that is an art that is completely lost right now in 2020. We cannot figure out how to agree to disagree. And that's my generation's fault. That's our fault. It is very hard for me, in my opinionations, that's not a word, but I just made it up. In my opinion, it's very difficult for me to see someone else's side. And sometimes when it comes to that, I'm just like, okay. Just like people in Facebook that feel like they've got to say something on your wall. You haven't heard from these people in 20 to 25 years. Now all of a sudden you post something political and there they are. Listen, I love Jesus with all of my heart. I think that God has put in all of us this innate desire to be free. I-N-N-A-T-E, innate. This innate desire to be free. I want to be free. I want this economy to get rolling. I want our churches to be open. Our churches should be open. Understand that. Constitutionally, they cannot shut churches down. They can't. But we've gone along with this long enough. It is time for us to figure out, how do we push back? How do we do it wisely? And how do we do it in a way that we are wise in how we respond? Listen, I love you guys. Some of you are not going to watch this. Those of you that have watched to this point, I appreciate it. I do have a YouTube channel. I have a group in Facebook called Pray to End COVID-19. I'm trying to be encouraging every day. I'm trying to put videos and songs out there morning and evening just to be encouraging. No politics involved in that page at all. None. And I have been, some people have been upset with me by taking things down that they have put in there. Whatever. But it is just a group to share prayer requests, to pray together. Our goals, the goals that I established in there, is to pray for our country, to pray for our president, and to pray to end this thing. I love you guys. Hope you like it. Hope you like the video. If not, okay. Have a great day.